Hi, in last lecture I discussed LA-LR parsing. Parsing is of two types, one is top down, another is bottom up. Again, top down is of two types, one is recursive descent parsing and another is LL1 or you can say predictive parsing. This is with backtracking, LL1 is without backtracking. And bottom up parsing is of four types, one is LR0, another is SLR1 and another is LALR1 and next one is CLR1. I already discussed all this parsing. Let's find what are the relation between all this parsing. Set of all LLK grammar is less than set of all LRK grammar. This K can be 0, 1, 2, any natural number. We can say set of all LL0 context free grammar is subset of set of all LL1 context free grammar and that is subset of set of all LL2 context free grammar and LL2 that is also subset of all LL3 context free grammar, LL3 that is subset of LL4 context free grammar. And for LR also, set of all LR0 context free grammar is subset of set of all LR1 context free grammar. And LR1 context free grammar that is subset of set of all LR2 context free grammar. And LR2 that is subset of LR3 context free grammar like this. I already discussed LL1 grammar, LR0 grammar and LR1 grammar. We can say set of all LLK context free grammar is subset of set of all LRK context free grammar. This K may be 0, 1, 2, 3 any number. We discussed LL1. Every LL1 context free grammar is subset of LR1 context free grammar. LR1 that may be CLR1 or LALR1. CLR1 is more powerful and efficient among all the parser, but it is very costly. Due to that, we used LL1 and LALR1 in real-time compiler construction. If one LL1 grammar having no null production, then it's also SLR1. Just remember this is important. It will save your time in exam. If one grammar is LL1 and there is no epsilon production, then that is also SLR1. And every LL1 grammar is LALR1, hence LR1, as LALR1 is subset of CLR1. LL1 that is completely subset of LR1. So LR1 that include LA, LR1 and CLR1. So every LL1 that is subset of LA, LR1 also CLR1. So one language is LL1 means it is LALR and it's CLR. And if there is no epsilon production, then that is also SLR. Suppose one grammar is given and it is asking whether this is LL1, SLR1, CLR1 like this. Just check LL1. If this is LL1, then that also LALR and CLR1. And if this grammar contain no epsilon production, then that is also SLR1. According to power, LR0 have less power than SLR1, SLR1 have less power than LALR1 and LALR1 have less power than CLR1. So most powerful is CLR1. But it is too costly. Next, easy to implement. LR0 is easy to implement than SLR1 and SLR1 is easy to implement than LALR1 and LALR1 is easy to implement than CLR1. One question was asked about this, which is most powerful and which is most easy to implement, and there LR0 option was not given. It was just given about SLR1, LALR1 and CLR1. Among that, CLR1 is most powerful and SLR1 is easy to implement. Then set of all grammar. So set of all LR0 context free grammar is subset of set of all SLR1 context free grammar, that you can say as SLR1 class, and SLR1 class is subset of LALR1 class and LALR1 class is subset of CLR1 class. Means there are more grammar for which we can do CLR1 parsing. Next language, Set of all LR0 language is subset of SLR1 class, means set of all SLR1 language, and that is subset of LA-LR1 class, and that is subset of CLR1 class. Next, parser, LR0 parser less than SLR1 parser, SLR1 parser less than LA-LR1 parser, and that is less than CLR1 parser. Then table size, this is important. LR0 table size is same as SLR1 table size is same as LA-LR1 table size. CLR1 table size is more than all these. Here table size means number of rows and number of column. If one grammar is given and it is asking what will be number of rows for SLR1 or LALR1, just do for LR0 and you can say that it is same. It is same for LALR1 or SLR1. But for CLR1 you need to check. You need to create the CLR1 table, then you can find as CLR1 contain more rows in compared to LALR or SLR or LR0. Next, reduce entry in table size. LR0 reduce entry is more as we are writing reduction in all column of action part. Then it's SLR1. In SLR1 we are writing reduction in whole of LHS side variable. And SLR1 and LALR1 reduction entry is same. In LALR1 we are writing the reduction in lookahead symbol column, and in CLR1 we are writing the reduction in lookahead symbol column. But LALR1, that is merge of more than one state, so that's why here it is equivalent to fall of the LHS side variable. Next, number of state in automata. So number of state in LR0 automata is same as SLR1 automata, and that is same as LALR1 automata. In CLR1 there are more number of states. So if it is asking number of state for LALR or SLR, simply construct for LR0 and you can say same number of state for SLR1 and LALR1. For CLR1 or LR1 you need to construct as it contains more number of state than LR0, SLR1 and LALR1. Let's see the diagram representation of relation between all the parser. First LR0. LR0 is subset of SLR1, or you can say every LR0 grammar is also SLR1 as LR0 is subset of SLR1. And again SLR1 is subset of LALR1. So every LR0 is SLR1, every SLR1 is also LALR1, and LALR1 is subset of CLR1, or you can say LR1. This is also according to power. CLR1 and LR1 is most powerful. And set of grammar, like all LR0 grammar is also SLR1 and all SLR1 is also LALR1 and all LALR1 is also CLR1, but reverse is not true. One grammar may be CLR1 but not LALR, or one grammar may be LALR but not SLR, and one grammar may be SLR but not LR0. So reverse is not true, and all these LR parsing are unambiguous. So every LR0 grammar or every SLR1 grammar or LALR1 grammar or CLR1 or LR1 grammar must be unambiguous. But every unambiguous need not be LR0 or SLR1 or LALR1 or CLR1. And there is another parsing, that is LL1 parsing, that was from top-down parsing. LL1 is subset of LR1. And what will be under LR1? It will be LALR and CLR or LR1. So every LL1 grammar is also LALR1. As you can see in diagram, LL1 is completely inside the LALR1. Suppose this is LL1 and that is completely inside of LALR1. So you can say every LL1 grammar is also LALR1 grammar. So LL1 is completely subset of LALR1, and LALR1 is subset of CLR1 or LR1. That's why LL1 is also subset of CLR1. or LR1. So if one grammar is LL1, then that is also LALR1 or CLR1. It may or may not SLR1, it may or may not LR0. If one LL1 grammar having no epsilon production, then that will be SLR1. This is important, it will save your time in exam. So this is all about unambiguous. Then there is another set of grammar that is ambiguous. One parser is there that can accept ambiguous grammar, that is operator precedency parser. Operator precedency parser can accept ambiguous plus unambiguous. This is the only grammar that will accept ambiguous. And context free grammar is of two types, either it can be ambiguous or unambiguous. All LL1 parser, LR0 and LR1 parser can accept only unambiguous grammar. For LL1, grammar should be free from ambiguity, left recursion, common prefixes, and for LR, grammar should be free from ambiguity. If one grammar have ambiguity, then that cannot be parsed by LR parser. This relation table is important. It will help you to solve question faster. With this, I am finishing parsing. If this lecture is helpful for you, please like and subscribe. Thank you.